Welcome back, everyone, to another SlabStox podcast and YouTube video. My name is Aaron, your host. For today's SlabStox Investing 101 video, today we are going to be covering how to search BGS and PSA population reports and some different tips and tricks in doing so, and really what is population reports and what is card grading, just a little intro to that. But before getting into the video, make sure you go follow us at SlabStox on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also go to slabstox.com to sign up for the daily investment newsletters we send out. A lot of great eBay auctions and eBay buy it nows on there for you to buy and invest, and it works out really well for a lot of people. So for the BGS and PSA population reports, first I need to explain what they are. Basically, when people grade cards, they send them to third-party grading companies. Two of the more popular ones are PSA and BGS. And when they grade a card, they log the card into their system. And they hold a database of all the cards that are graded over time since they were a company. And then people can go onto the databases and see the breakdown per set, how many cards are graded per set, how many cards are graded per card in the set. And then it also breaks down the different numerical grades it got all the different cards. So I'll show you guys examples of that later in the video. Also want to discuss about what is card grading quick. This is a very brief intro. We will have more videos later on this, but basically it's when people take a non-graded card like this Giannis 2016 Optic Holo. They send it to PSA, and then it comes back in a case like this. Obviously, this is not the same card as the one I just showed, but basically it comes back in a case, PSA, with the red label. And they assign it a numerical grade, and then you can also send it to BGS, and their labels look a little bit different. They got some subgrades here to talk about the corners, the edges, the surface, and the centering, and why the card got the grade it did. So just a little bit different there for PSA versus BGS, but in short, that's what it is. It provides a protection. It assigns it a numerical grade, which makes it more valuable. Like the first card I showed, the non-graded Giannis Optic Holo, that card's maybe $200 to $250 as a non-graded card. But if you send it to PSA and it gets a PSA 10, it's worth between $600 and $700. So there's definitely a big plus to grading, which is why these population reports matter. So the population reports are super useful because for a lot of the cards, they're not numbered. Like that Optic Holo I just showed, this card doesn't have a set scarcity. There is no serial numbering on the back of the card that tells you how many of these are made. But what the PSA and BGS population reports do is they provide you some sort of supply for the marketplace. They tell you, how many were graded, which is nice to see how many actually got graded by each company, and then also the breakdown of the numerical grades. So it, tags on some type of supply level that we wouldn't have otherwise. So that is great just for more insights into the marketplace. It also gives you the ability to find undervalued cards or sets, or even specific players that have a lack of cards graded by PSA or BGS. A lot of the time, especially in baseball, this was a big thing last year with Christian Yelich, or actually that might have been 2 years ago now, with Christian Yelich when he first broke onto the scene with the Brewers. There was not many update Christian Yelich rookies graded. So the ones that were PSA 10s or PSA 9s were in low supply, and when he broke out really strong in the first 3 weeks or 4 weeks of the season, those that were premium grades, PSA 10s, PSA 9s, exploded in value. I know that update PSA 10s were touching like 325, 350, which was super crazy to see. Very awesome as well. So that was a way that PSA population reports, you can use them to your advantage, find undervalued players or sets, different sets that don't have a lot of cards graded. We'll get into that more as the video goes on. And then also you can compare recent cards, maybe a Luka Doncic PSA 10 or PSA graded card to LeBron back in 2003, his Topps Chrome rookie. And then you can see, how production has went up because we don't know how many base rookies of each were produced, but we can go and see the population report and we can figure out how many cards are graded of Luka now, how many cards are graded of LeBron, and it gives you a nice baseline to figure out what's going on in the marketplace and how the industry is, changing. Production levels are changing over time as more people get involved, and it's a really great tool. for you to find out more information about sports cards and sports cards investments, because a lot of people that get involved in the sports card hobby and industry first start with buying graded cards if they're looking for investments. They don't know exactly how to break down the cards and what the grades are and how what grade they might receive. So a lot of people start with the graded cards and expand in the future. So this is why we are rolling out this video first, because it should provide immediate help for finding sports cards investments undervalued. Maybe going and just seeing how many are available. That's another great tool. Or seeing how production's changing. Just a great way to learn more. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. I'm going to show you guys some screenshots and some video recording here to help you guys navigate the PSA and BGS population report. And I will see you guys in the screenshots. All right, so here we are at psacard.com. Go to the pop report. That's where the cursor is right now. And once you get to that page, you can type into the search bar anything. So we're going to type in 2018 Prism Luka Doncic for the 2018 Prism Luka rookie card. And we're going to get returned here a bunch of different sets that include Prism Luka 2018. And we want to click on the 2018 Panini Prism set right there. So we'll do that. And when we get to this page, the 2018 Prism Pop Report is huge. There is 94,000 cards in the 2018 Prism Pop Report. I fast forwarded the video here, but it took around 40 seconds to load that page. And then it took another 40 seconds to load Luka there. So that was all super fast. I fast forward the time. And now what we see here is that is the base card that I just highlighted. It is the base card for the Luka 2018 Prism. There's a ton in the Pop Report, as you can see, over 15,000. There's over 10,000 tens. And then you can see all the different parallels here. There's black gold, blue ice, blue prism, blue shimmer, all that stuff. There's like 30 or 40 different parallels. It provides all the different numerical grades, 1 to 10, which ones are graded what, and then you can see the breakdown. And here we have the silver prism, which is one of the staple 2018 Prism investments, the Luka Doncic Prism Silver PSA 10. And if you're wondering, when I calculate on the posts that I make on Instagram, the PSA 10%, I take the 10 number and then I divide it by the total that are graded. So like if you're looking at it right now, you could just take that 10 number and then divide it by the total. Another thing to point out is that, do you see the plus and the Q? The plus means a 0.5. So if you look at the 8 there, you can see that there is a 1 for the Silver Prism. That means that there's one 8.5 in existence of the Luka Prism Silver. There is no plus for the 7, the 6, the 5 for Luka, but there are pluses for other cards out there, meaning there's a 5.5 or a 6.5, mostly for vintage cards. And then if you look at the Q, that Q stands for OC or different qualifiers, it's called. The Q is the qualifier, and as you can see in this Wayne Gretzky, there's an OC on the card for off-center. That is a qualifier, so it would land on the Q. It would be listed under the 9, and then there'd be a 1 where there's a Q. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the biggest tip for searching cards on the Pop Report to make sure that it doesn't take forever to load. So you're going to go back and you're going to type in 2018 Prism Luka Doncic, but instead you're going to take the set name and put it before it. You're going to take exactly what PSA says. You're going to put Panini there for the set, and then boom, you're going to get the Pop Report here. You can see right now all the cards populated without having to load that page. It literally took seconds. You just have to have an exact match in the PSA system. And then we're going to go in here and we're going to type in Trae Young. So here is the Trae Young, came up right away. This is the number one tip to search the PSA population report to make it fast for these massive amount of pop sets. In a second here, I'm going to show you a set that is not a massive amount. It's not 94,000 like the PS or the Prism set. And we're going to look at the 2017 Hoops Jason Tatum card. So this card, there are not many Hoops cards graded. If you look at the top here, for 2017 Hoops, there's only 2,133 cards graded. And then if you type in Tatum, it returns right away. Since this database for the 2017 Panini Hoops is really small, you get to see them all right away. And you can also see here that way less Hoops cards are graded because they are less valuable for a long time versus Prism. Next topic I want to jump into here is searching for undervalued cards or different cards that are tough grades in the Pop Report. So a perfect example here is the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander Prism Silver Rookie. The Silver Rookie is worth around $100 today, and then the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander Prism Silver PSA 10 is worth around $485, which is a huge multiplier. If you look at the Trae Young, it's around 3 times as much, not that 4.8. It's way less. So now let's go and look up the Pop Report on the 2018 Panini Prism Shai Gilgeous-Alexander Silver, and you can see here that the 9s, there's 470, there's 295 10s out of 932 total graded, and there's also 125 8s, which is crazy. And I'll show you why right here that is the case. These cards are really poorly centered. Most of the Shai Gilgeous Prism Silver 10s, or not 10s, but the Prism Silver non-gradeds are really poorly centered. You can see it there, the super thick border on the top versus the thinner border on the PSA 10. So that is why those are very tough grades. If we come over here to the Trae Young Prism Silver to look at that, there are only 68s out of over 2,500 graded. With Shai Gilgeous, there are 125 8s out of 950 graded. So a huge discrepancy here for the grading for Trae Young versus Shai, and that is a huge proponent to why. Now, if we go to eBay and we look at these PSA 9s, we can see here that they're around $100 on May 25th and May 27th for a PSA 9. I was sending a lot of these out on our newsletters because I saw that the non-grades were worth around 70 to 80. Well, a PSA 9 that is a very, very condition-sensitive card should be worth more than $100 if that's the case. And today, they're worth around $130, $135 for the PSA 9s. So those were good buys there. Now we're going to go to the Beckett Population Report. You got to go to BeckettGradingServices.com. You got to go to grading. Then you have to sign in. And then you have to go to the Population Report. And now here we are at the Pop Report. And they make you put in the sport. They make you put in the set. They make you put in the name. And it just takes very, very long to search this thing. And as you see, when you type in 2003 Topps Chrome LeBron James, there are no results that are returned. That happens so much when you type in the year and then the set and then LeBron and stuff. And it's a huge pain. So then you have to type in just Topps Chrome, just LeBron James, and then you'll get a return of the population report finally. And it works just like the PSA report. You can see the different grades, breakdown, all that stuff. But then it also includes all the different years of Topps Chrome. So if you want to find 2005, you want to find 2006, 2007, you have to, Control F, which is to find on your page, and then type in the year. It's not as easy as the PSA population report. It's a big pain. Here's another thing about the Beckett Pop Report, is if you type in Prism and then Michael Porter, so I want to see all the Michael Porter Jr. Prism cards in the Pop Report, here they are. But as you scroll down the page, you will start to notice that it returns more than just Michael Porter Jr. It will pull his last name and match it with Prism. It will pull his first name and match it with Prism. So now you have Otto Porter and Michael Carter Williams and all these randos on the population report that we don't want. It's a very difficult population report to search. Not a big fan of it really at all. And then another thing that we can do with this is we can go and look at the Prism Luka Doncic rookie on here. And as you can see, there's around 4,000 Prism rookies of Luka graded via Beckett. Here's the breakdown and everything. But if you're looking at the PSA population report, there is around 16,000 Luka Doncic rookies graded, which is way more than the BGS population report. And this is really new here. I'd say within the last 2 years, 5, 6, 7 years ago, or even go back, 18 years or 17 years for the LeBron Topps Chrome rookie, we're only looking at around 4,500 Topps Chrome LeBron James rookies graded by PSA, under 2010s. But then if you go and look at the BGS population report, there's over 7,000 LeBrons. Beckett used to be the preferred method for grading non-autographs, and now it has clearly shifted to PSA. Everyone's submitting their cards at PSA, so that's pretty wild there. that the population report difference is so big. And this is a very good tool to go and look at, how trends change over time, just figure out what's going on. So before we're done, I wanted to show you one more tip here with the population report. I'm going to pull up the Luka Doncic Panini Donruss Optic set before ending it off here. So as you can see, we have the holo pulled up. I'm looking at it right now. And I want to show you the difference in the optic set versus the PSA set. So if you look at the holo right here, there's 196 PSA 10s out of 417 total graded, which is around a 47% PSA 10 rate. If you look at the base, it's 1,697 divided by 3,256, and that's around 52%. So both numbers are pretty close to 50%, which is actually quite low. Now we're going to go and look at the Prism Luka Doncic Pop Report, and this is going to give us some insight in the difference between the condition-sensitive set of optic versus Prism. So for silvers here for Prism, there's 1,744 divided by 3,007, and that is around 58%. So that was 47% for the holos versus 58% for the silvers, for the Prism silvers. And if we look at the base, 10,843 divided by 15,892. That's 68% versus 52% for the optic base. So this is just one more way that you can go and compare top-end sets and figure out which ones might be more condition sensitive, which ones might be more undervalued. This video is a great start for you to understand how to search it, but make sure you go and spend plenty of time on these population reports to understand what's going on, being able to understand how to search different sets, how to search different players, how to look at the numbers and break down percents and figure out which cards are tough grades. If you have some cards of your own, then you can know which ones are tough grades. There's a lot of stuff to understand, but this is a great starting point for learning how to use it and learning how to extract the most value out of it, which is a big deal. Thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this SlabStox Investing 101 video talking about the PSA and BGS population reports. I really hope it helps you guys discovering different cards to invest in or different non-graded cards to buy and then grade yourself if there's a big markup that can be made between the grading. So thank you guys for joining me in this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.